是后悔，偷偷问自己，究竟是因为什么？
Hello and welcome to another super exciting episode of Repair and Chat. And apparently this is a gaming PC. MSI Ryzen 7 5000. So why do I have it? Well, someone brought it to me because it was overheating. Now if this case looks familiar, this is actually a pre-built system. Not sure what that is. Scratched. This is a pre-built. I couldn't find the model right away. I'll put it down here later. And apparently MSI sold pre-built gaming PCs at some point. Maybe they still do, I don't know. But the person that brought this to me said that the CPU is overheating when he's playing Wukong to almost 90C, which I think is high, right? Not sure. I don't really have experience with Ryzens, but 90C sounds like a lot. So he bought a new case and he wants me to put his parts from this one in the new case, which is the one that was in the beginning. That's an NZXT 710. But before we do that, I want to look at this case. Now, I remember videos a while back of people making fun of this case and MSI's because of the bad airflow. And that's typically what happens on pre-built is there's bad airflow. So I already took this off. And we kind of looked at it together. I said, you know, this doesn't look terrible. I mean, look at how big the cooler is. This is a Thermalright Assassin. Should be good, right? This is a 4060 Ti. And then there's 3 fans here, RGB. And then there's 2 fans up here. So in theory, there should be no problems here, but we started to take it apart a little bit when he was here. It was kind of late, so we didn't really get to do too much, but so we have, let's see, these fan things are weird. Okay, there's one. So we have one. This is a 120, I believe, right? Thermalright fan that came with this cooler. It's blowing that way. That should be normal. Let's take that off. The thing is, I told him that I was just gonna take this PC and see if I could improve the cooling solution. But he wanted a new case, so I guess he doesn't like this case. Also, this is funny. The well, I can't really pull it out here. The power switch doesn't work, so he has this external power button. So a little ghetto, but actually it's not terrible. Just push it on here, and then that goes through here, I guess. I'm not sure where this came from. So, and then we took off the middle fan. We just slide it up, I guess. No. Clippy. There we go. So when we took the middle fan out, it was actually pointing that way. So So the air was going into here, and then it was directly hitting the air going that way. So that's a no bueno right away. Even though, I mean, we realized that he did that wrong. He's the one that installed this fan. But he said just change the case anyway. He doesn't like this case at all. So that's one issue. So basically this cooler wasn't doing anything. It was like this. Like they were just, the air was just going right at each other. The thing is, even if that was the case, I think it still shouldn't get that hot. But I'm not familiar with Ryzen enough to know. I mean, even if you put two fans on backwards, it shouldn't get that hot. So we might want to check the thermal paste later, since he did it and he put the fans in backwards. There could be questions there. And then we have here, so these are not RGB, by the way. These are just the fans that it comes with. So we have the three fans here, which is strange because the bottom fan, if you see the bottom fan, it blows into here, but where does the air go? There's no vents here. It's just blank. So I'm not sure about that setup. And then, if we can see, I don't know if you can see, but we have one top fan going out. And I guess, I don't know if he put this in or the other guy where he bought it from. This fan is going in. So it's going in and out like this. And then this is going back and forth. I mean, it's kind of a train wreck. I mean, it's a nice system, but I don't understand this case is weird. And so here is where the air comes in, like this. This is the air intake. But watch this. Take this off. See, there's the fans. Here's the air intake. Look at the mesh right here. It's basically starving for air. I know it's meant to be filtered, but you can't change the filter. So what's the point of all of this? I had a case like this before. Actually, he said I could have this case for free after. So when I use it myself, I'm gonna pull all that mesh stuff off, because you just can't. I mean, a person couldn't even breathe through that air. It's ridiculous. So there's no air. It's just weird. So here's the RGB fans. These will be transferred to the new case. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, look at this rat's nest back here. What am I supposed to do with this? I mean, really? It's gonna take me longer to put all this together than to transfer the motherboard to the new case. And people wonder why I hate RGB. What is all of this for? What does this do? It doesn't do anything. It just makes things complicated. And then to make it worse, usually the builders that build these, they put 1400 zip ties here. So when I have to clean it later, I have to undo all the zip ties. This is just crazy. Okay. Now we have, I did not realize this at first. We actually have a hard drive here. There's a 2.5 inch 2 terabyte hard drive. Oh, here's, oh. Okay, that's RGB heaven right here. You guys like RGB so much, you can put this you know where. I hate it. Okay, so there's 2 terabyte hard drive here. Okay, and then I saw another one. There's another hard drive in the bottom, down there. I think somebody glued it. It's just not even, there's no bracket. Oh man. Why? Why? Anyway, I'll figure that part out in a minute. And then you have your so basically the air comes in through those side vents. It comes out here through this top thing. If this comes off. Thought I had this off earlier. Okay. Dude, this case is horrible. Okay, so the air would come in through the side. It would come up out of here. I guess there's space for a radiator here, but he has this. And then the air has to come out of the equally restrictive vents here. But the thing is, okay, look, see the mesh right here? I'm just gonna take it off because it's annoying me. This mesh, why is it filtered? The air is coming out. It's not going in. This is not an intake here. So what's the point of air being filtered? It doesn't make sense. When I build with this case again, I'm taking all this stupid mesh out. This is just dumb. It's cheap, it's plastic. And this computer was probably $1,500. And then I don't know what's going on with the power supply down there. I don't even want to know at this point. I just want to take it out. So there's crappy case 101. I will use it though, just because it's free for myself. So we have to transfer this into the new case, and let me show you the new case. New case. So this is the NZXT 710, which unfortunately has the same problem. The air is coming in from here, the air is coming out from here. So that's what he bought. I was gonna sell him my fractal case, but he wanted the glass side panel, so he bought this for 60 bucks, which is a good deal. And it's new. It's just like open box. So let's open it and see. I mean, it's not as bad as the other one. Let's take this off. Now, of course, NZXT has a bad reputation at the moment, but the thing is, they actually make nice cases. So you can see the difference here. It's basically the same design, but see here, you have holes here for the air to come up from the power supply basement. The air will come out here, the air will come in here, and then you hide your cables behind this thing. And I personally love NZXT cases. I don't have any gripes. This case was actually poorly reviewed when it came out for the airflow. The oh my god, Look at that, it's just blank. See, I like that. I don't want to see the fans. Why do people have to see their fans? I don't know. I'll never figure it out. But it was poorly reviewed. The H700 had poor airflow and overheating concerns. So they made the 710, which is an updated version. And I can't remember what was the difference between the 700 and the 710. Some slight difference. Anyway, so you see you have the air still coming in through these holes, but at least this filter is replaceable. Now what some people did to stop the airflow problem is they just took the filter out. There was a significant difference in temperature between this being in and this being out. Me personally, I don't care for the air filter. If you clean your computer once in a while and you have a clean house, you don't really need a filter. Because what's going to happen is all that dust can get stuck in here. And then it's going to choke the PC, right? The last computer that came into the shop had this was completely plugged with dust. Now, it's not the computer's fault. The guy didn't clean his house, you know? I mean, have an air filter in your house or something. Just, this is not an air purifier system. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same. It has a vertical mount, which is cool. So I'm not sure how you do that, but that's an option at some point. And then the air comes out here. So the plan is, what he said he wanted me to do is put everything in here. And we're just gonna put in as many fans as possible. And he doesn't care if it's loud. And that was basically the thought of Gamers Nexus when they reviewed this case. They said if you put in enough airflow, it'll basically force the air out just due to pressure. And they call it the brute force method, which means just it's, you know what's weird? Why is the back panel so easy to remove, but the other one has a screw? There we go. So it's going to be nice and tidy. So we have, there's a little kit here. It's cool. So what we're going to do is have, let's see, he has 2 fans already. On the old one. 3 fans. No, actually he has 6 fans. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll probably, let's see, does this come off? If there's a filter here, we'll take that off. And then we'll do a little cable management. He said he doesn't really care about the cables. I mean, I'm gonna try and make it look a little nice, but I mean, there's kind of no hope for that setup with that power supply. Here, not contact. What? Anyway, it's called brute force. So you're gonna have so much intake air here and so much outtake air here that the air just has no choice but to just be, it's almost under pressure at that point. And then we'll have the fan here. I might, let me see, do a 140, but so just for example, there's a 120. So we put a 120 here. See, the problem with, I hate when there's this extra space right here. or we can go 140. Yeah, I think we'll go 140 since it fits. So it's gonna have major exhaust. That's, yeah, I have to give him one of these 140 fans. So 3 intake, 3 top exhaust, and then a 140 exhaust. And we'll see if that solves the problem. All right, we'll be back in a minute. So sadly, the video ends there. He needed the computer back, and the cable management, as I predicted, was a complete mess. The case has those sort of routing channels, but that actually ended up getting in the way of doing the cable management because a lot of the cables were not far enough to reach properly. I don't know if that RGB hub was originally, I think it came with that case, because once I put everything in the new case, a lot of things weren't reaching. And then I put the third fan in the top, and then that one wouldn't reach. And then I was just getting frustrated. I texted him because he was expecting to pick it up that night. I texted him and I said, look, I've been doing this for 3 hours now. I'm frustrated. I need a break. Can you just pick it up tomorrow so I can spend more time, fixing everything? And he said, I really need it tonight. I don't care about the cables. Just put it together, give it to me. He actually ended up, I was still putting everything together, and as he was in my driveway. It was like the most pressure situation I've been under in a while, I think, on computers. Just to have it done. I really hate rushing. That's when you make mistakes and stuff, but it all came together. It works. That case, the NZXT, turned out to be not really ideal for the situation. The case should have been smaller and more compact. It's a nice case. I like the case, but it's too big for his setup. So then we get it all together, right? We got cables running all over the place. I zip tied some, and then there's no reset button on the case to change the RGB. I didn't realize that. Now the hub has a button on it you could push. It has a manual button. But the original case had an RGB button that you would plug into the hub to change the colors. So then he's like, I need to be able to change the colors. And I'm like, man, why? Just use the computer. You don't need to change the colors all the time. So we ended up putting his old power switch thing into the hub so he could change it. Just weird. The whole situation was weird. And then the hard drives made it worse, having to put 2 hard drives in the case. So originally the job, as far as what I would charge, it was supposed to be $100. I didn't charge him that because I didn't really finish it. I mean, I did the labor, but I didn't finish it. And then he gave me his old case, so he just gave me 40 bucks as a thank you. And I told him I was going to make a video about it, so that's why I didn't charge so much. But ordinarily, if you do work like this, $100 is like the minimum. And that's why I think it's funny that you see these people on YouTube building PCs from scratch, ordering all the parts, unboxing all the unboxing, installing Windows, hours and hours and hours of work, and then they only charge $100. I mean, they only make $100. But I get it, you know, it's content. But typically a case swap should be $100 if it's, you know, complete. So I charged him half because it was incomplete. So he's happy, I think. He got it he came to my house at like 10 at night. Hopefully everything's good. I'm going to follow up with him today and just to make sure everything's okay. But everything seemed to be fine. And then he might bring it back and we'll redo the RGB stuff with something better. And then as far as the old case, I already put my setup in that case to see how it is. I removed all the mesh stuff. I haven't quite completed it yet, but everything's in there. It's working. I turned it on late last night, and then that'll probably be the next video, is when I show you the case with actual airflow not suffocating itself. And yeah, let me know what you think. My opinion is the case was fine. I think he should have just took all that RGB stuff out and just put regular fans. It's really unnecessary. He said it's in the corner of his room anyway, and 5 RGB fans is a lot. I mean, 3. My suggestion originally was to just leave 3 top RGB fans and then put 2 regular fans in the front, because you can't see the RGB in the front anyway, right? So you would have a little RGB kind of just pointing down, and then 2 140s in the front instead of 120s. That would be your airflow. And then maybe add the horizontal GPU mount. That would look nice. But it was a time crunch. He had to do something on the computer. He does 3D printing, which is good because I want to learn that, and he said he's going to help me out with that. So even though I didn't really make any money on this deal after spending 3 hours on it, meeting someone, making a friend, and he's going to help me learn how to 3D print stuff, that to me is priceless. I wouldn't have charged him really anything because it wasn't done, but he just gave me the 40 bucks just to say thank you, so that's good. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Sorry, the audio is always messed up. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll figure it out. We'll see you later.